Greetings and welcome to the energy of Capricorn. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. I do welcome you to the channel if you're returning. And if you're new, please subscribe for future readings. So we shall be working with the 10 and the 4 axis. This axis spins on a cardinal nature between earth and water. And with this, there is a possibility of finding people who are ready to receive communities, who are ready to receive some sort of change by being independent, by exploring the creative field, by having some sort of safe space in order to produce an effect. Okay, this is a very sanctified position, sanctified people who are almost cenobitic or like a monastery, a walking monastery. So yeah, the interesting thing is that what Capricorn does in terms of the effect of karma is pull these people in to allow to have to serve in some sort of way with these people, to have an idea of authority over that in which you do what you do in terms of reality and the production of reality. And karma within that. So it's a very interesting position. Also, you're dealing with people who are tied to the energy of the gateway to moksha, the 4th, 8th, and the 12th house. And essentially, they push forward this element of freedom that points to the ultimate emancipation that comes through spiritual refinement and attunement and initiation and beyond. So it's a very interesting dynamic that we have on the 4 and 10 axis. Cardinal energy usually tends to be quite affirmative, quite active. At the same time, this is one of the most misunderstood pair in terms of cardinal energy. Quite misunderstood. So hopefully that will change over time. We're going to go into 3 different readings. This is having to do with a karmic reading, and then an incident of karma, and then the 3rd reading is the Great Mirror. And as you know, the Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun to see particular karmas that exist between 2 people. That is the energy of Capricorn and a significant other. So please take only what you will. We'll go now straight into the karmic reading for the month of February 2023 for Capricorn. Okay, so I think primarily for the month of February, there is a strong need to grab that which moves you and to ride it, to just do it. There's a possibility of doing that and essentially coming into a point of stasis. This has to do with acting, reacting. Okay, reacting more than being patient, and essentially doing that would lead to an experience. Okay, and the experience will actively charge a state of mind, a state of thinking that might be difficult to comprehend. What I see here is a need to address the 3 of Swords in the reverse. A feeling that you've gotten over a cycle of processing when it comes to the mind and the way of thinking in terms of a past trauma. Okay, It feels like that you've gone through that already, you've been through that already, especially when it comes to your affairs, when it pertains to love, or when it pertains to the capacity to be satisfied in some sort of way, to be nourished. The thing is that if you were to act by impulse and choose something out of passion in a reactive way, it might lead to another sense of trauma and another event. And with the Eight of Swords resulting from the 10, there is a possibility of really looking into yourself in the month of February and seeing how to remove the walls. At the same time, there's the crown of creation in this reading. You have the capacity to do what you will in order to bring whatever effect comes of it. It's just what I see here is something that is done to get over the numbness, to get over not being able to feel much of anything at all. And this may seem reactive in nature. I think it would be important to address any trauma that you may have had, any sort of psychological barriers that you may have brought up in order to preserve a sense of peace of mind for yourself, and it might lead to something great. Primarily, it would have to do with the seeds that have been planted in your mind and grown over time. There is a need to maintain the mind, to essentially purify a way of thinking, to be critical in the way in that line of thought, and also to let go of that which has not proved fruitful when it comes to the failings of past relationships. These are all themes of what I'm seeing in the month of February. Now let's look at more of an incidental reading tied to this energy. Let's see. Okay. I think the advice here is not to do things impulsively, not to do things out of anger. Try to find the strength to do things without passion or without intensity. If you do this, if you come from a place of peace, you're going to bring a lot more to the table in terms of a new day, in terms of a new commitment or a new work, space of work, a place of resources. And it might bring forward a sense that you've been focusing too much on the wrong things and working too hard. You've been overworking yourself in the wrong way. I think that if you were to address some of the things that make you feel impulse, that make you feel like you have to do something, there would be a way to truly value on a micro level your time, what a day truly is to Capricorn. What is that to you? So that's something that you can look at. There's something about the lessening of tensions, addressing anger, addressing rage, and to use this to understand how this is against your path, against the flow of what you've been going through. You're coming from a very restful state, so you have to use that and not act out of impulse. There has to be sort of like a finesse into the future. That's what I'm seeing, at least on an incidental level. There also is something that perhaps you can find out through a confidant, someone who can be there for you to help you express something that needs to be expressed in terms of fire, in terms of this creative impulse, this need to create and procreate and do things. I think it will come best if you were to find the natural, like, social lubricant to get into a new situation, for example, in terms of working with others. So let's move on now to the Great Mirror, and the Great Mirror is a 9-card spread to see the apparent karmas between two different agents, one being Capricorn, the other being a significant other. We'll do our best to essentially understand the karmic implications of this relationship, however loose or tight it is. Please take only what you will, and I do thank you for your time. Okay, so the way they see you is someone who is returning from a very deep and inner and personal quest that you have been seeking out in terms of your own path, your own ability to be active in terms of reflexivity, to see deeply within yourself and to find that inner flame. At the same time, there is this notion that you've been away for far too long. There's something about you working way too hard on the wrong things, also possibly a thing. Not to say that you should stop working. No, I think rather different. There has to be a way to use your resources to have them work for you. That includes time, it includes energy, it includes good health. These are all resources, even good relationships that you keep hidden. There's something about these resources that can be used in the correct manner. And if you look deeply enough, you might find that the ergonomic or the economical way of doing things is already there within you. When it comes to this connection on a deeper, more profound level, you may have to find a way to be critical on it. It really depends on the nature of the cards that pan out now. Okay, we have Judgment in reverse. We have Le Souverain, or Strength, in reverse. We have also the Six of Swords. Okay, so deep down, we have the Two of Swords in reverse on your end. We have the Six of Swords on their end. And we have the Seven of Swords here, here, and here. Meaning that there is a lot of thought that goes on to the unconscious aspects of this situation. Meaning that there can be a lot of criticism, there's a lot of deep inner sort of existential angst, I would call it, in terms of the sword sequence being in this in the very unconscious part of this situation. It becomes difficult to put things where they need to be set in order to provide fruitfulness. Now, because the 7 is here and the 2 is here, that leaves the 5 of Swords to be wanted. A need to avoid. At the same time, there is a heavily critical aspect on your end that is constantly projected to their end on an unconscious level. There also is the 6 of Swords combined with the 7 of Swords here. The difference between that which is not said, there's an escapist mentality. Their soul wants to depart. There's a quasi-romantic way of doing things with the 6 of Swords. But then because the 7 of Swords comes here, there is a sense of of hope. There's a lot of escapism in this, and it has to do with reverie, or a way of thinking, a way of daydreaming, a way of generating thoughts to avoid the truth, whatever that may be in your particular case. We have judgment in the reverse on a conscious level here, meeting with the hermit in the reverse. So major arcana, and what results out of it in the mirror is the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This is the North Node being activated here. There is a strong desire to sort of cooperate in terms of the Moon and the Mercury's energy. When two minds meet, when two inner worlds meet, I just don't know if it's going to be very healthy. With judgment in the reverse, there is a sense that there cannot be some sort of secondary animation to this. There can't be a restart. There can't be a resurrection, if you will, with this. I think if this is an older relationship, the passage of time has done its thing. And whatever that means, whatever comes of that, essentially is going to lead to a sense that a healthy choice needs to be made. Is so much desired to do so, and you actually would manifest this together. Now, the thing is that on the subconscious realm, what's trying to be programmed into the connection is sovereignty, independence on one end, and then a way to receive and then to also manage one's own resources on the other. What comes out of it is projets, which is the Seven of Cups in the reverse. There's a loosening of intensity. There's clarity of mind, presence of mind when it comes to what has truly been sort of projected to each other. So I think this person wants to maintain their own sort of individuality. At the same time, there's a lot of thought put onto the deeper notions of this, and I think that you would not want to be sucked dry by such a connection. The thing is that they have the seven of rods on their end, pourparlers and indecision. There is a tension, a very tense bridge that might be burned on their end, that they don't know how to repair it, or there's a lot of fire. There's a lot of fire on their end as well, a temper or some form of anger that needs to be expressed in some way, shape, or form. With all this pent-up energy, with strength in reverse, this need for independence looks more like weakness, to be honest. I'm not going to make any more commentary on that. In terms of advice, yeah, you have to possibly see if this person would fulfill you in the way that is expected in terms of being your other half or something like that, being the missing part of you, whatnot. I think it's all hogwash. I think the way one should see it is that you are a whole person, and you can offer a sort of flow to another person to work with them symbiotically, as opposed to obsessively sort of trying to control and then make them you. At the same time, there is a strong romantic element under all of this that that points to pain, a pain sequence that I would try to avoid. That's the best I can give you. Please take care now. Bye-bye.